Hey guys, welcome back to Peace and Carmen. I'm Carmen. So today we are going to start another great yoga video for the yoga series on this channel. I received a little bit of feedback from the last video saying that for beginners, it was a little bit tough. And so this class, this session, I really wanted to make sure that it was inclusive of all physical levels. Okay, so there's going to be a lot more variations that are going to be mentioned. It's going to be a lot easier to adapt to the sequence to how you need it for your own individual practice, okay? So grab a mat, grab something comfortable, grab a little water, a block, a strap, whatever you need to make sure that your practice is as great as it can be. This is my cat's tail. That you can slowly see in the frame, but you'll see her in the video too. She's been dying for attention. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on the mat, okay? All right, so rolling the shoulders back down away from the ears. We find some length in the side body, some space in the vertebrae of the spine, a nice long middle back. The chin is slightly tucked, and we're tall as if a string is being pulled from the top of the head. The bottom body is grounded to the mat. And here we take 3 deep breaths, inhaling, feeling the stomach expand, and keeping the exhale nice and long. Feeling the stomach fall close to the spine. Taking one more like this. Deep inhale. Long exhale. With an inhale, we allow the hands to float up above the body in prayer above the head. Exhale, we'll take the right arm, drop it behind the body while the left arm touches that right knee, and we find a nice twist, allowing the gaze to fall behind that right shoulder. Macy wants attention today, so you're gonna see little Macy coming into the shot. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, we sink a bit deeper into the twist. Inhale, we look forward. Exhale, we unwind. Back to center. With an inhale, we'll lift the arms once again, prayer hands above the body. Gaze follows. Exhale, left hand behind the body, right hand on the left knee. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, we sink deeper into the twist. We allow our gaze to float behind that left shoulder. Taking a few deep breaths here. Allowing each exhale to sink you a bit deeper into the twist. Inhale, we look forward. Exhale, we unwind. With an inhale, we're going to draw the right hand up above the body, letting it fall down to the left ear as we guide the right ear over to the right shoulder, allowing that left shoulder to sink down, finding a nice stretch in the left side of the neck. Notice the breath today. Allow it to be easy, Allow it to relax that muscle in the left of the neck. Inhale, release that right hand, lifting it up, finding that stretch up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, we take the left arm up. Exhale, we drop the left hand to the right ear, allowing the left ear to fall to the left shoulder. Finding that stretch in the right side of the neck. Each exhale, softening that right side of the neck. Closing the eyes here. Allowing your intention, your attention to sink inward. Noticing the feelings, the sensations that these movements bring to you today. Inhale, we release that left hand, floating the head up. We feel that stretch. And exhale, we drop the hand forward. We're going to extend both legs out, keeping the feet active. I'll turn this way so you can see me a bit better. So keeping the feet active, so toes are pressing towards the body, finding as if there was a wall or your block behind the feet, keeping it level and straight. With an inhale, we'll float the hands up above the body. Exhale, we'll sink forward, allowing the back to stay nice and straight, allowing the stretch to come from that waist here. Exhale, we sink deeper. Inhale, we elongate. Exhale, we sink deeper in the stretch, feeling that stretch all the way through the back body. If touching the toes is not something that you can do, that's totally fine. Grab a hold of a strap, place it on the bottom of the feet while you can hold it up here. You can also grab a towel if you have that. I don't have either of those things around, so I am going to show you with my blanket. You would take your towel and just hold on to the sides and allow that to bring the body over. But we want to feel open in the chest and not scrunched forward. So keeping that intention in mind, we breathe, we find our deep stretch. Inhale, we let the head rise, you roll the shoulders back. We're going to take the soles of the feet, bringing them to each other, allowing the knees to bend. We're going to lace our fingertips, placing them underneath our feet, keeping the chest forward, the chest open. We're going to find a little flutter. So here we are opening up the insides of the hip here. That hip crease, we're finding a little movement, so we're moving that fluid, getting some new fluid in there. Deep breath in, long breath out. And finding what feels good. So if there are any movements that we are doing today that are not feeling good on your body, choose a different variation, choose a way to do the pose that is comfortable for you, okay? So if that means changing the pose altogether, please do. I'm going to make sure I offer some other variations for people whose flexibility might not be to the advanced level just yet. So just be sure to listen to those other variations to find what feels good for you, okay? Taking a deep breath in, we'll find stillness with the legs. Exhale, We'll release the hands. We'll guide our hands to the outside of the knees. Help the knees in, and we will come over to tabletop. So spreading the fingertips long, wrists right above, right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. Macy's coming back today. Very much wanting attention today. So with an inhale, we'll drop the stomach, we'll curve the back, we'll bring the chest forward, looking up. Exhale, we round at the spine. We find a curve in the back vertebrae. The head comes down, chin, chest. Allowing the breath to guide your cat-cows today. Inhale, dropping the stomach. Exhale, rounding at the spine. Inhale, dropping at the stomach. Exhale, rounding at the spine. Allowing yourself to find any movement that might feel good, possibly rocking back and forth on the cats, looking at one heel and then the other on the cows. Just finding a little bit of movement into your body, keeping the practice light, keeping the practice for you. Because ultimately, this is your practice. So, although I might guide you through some different asanas, it is your body that you need to respond to. So please do that accordingly. So to warm up the body, we're going to extend the right hand forward, up and out, keeping that long length from the tip of the finger to the base of the spine. With the next inhale, we're going to take the left leg, if possible. We're going to lift that left leg, extending it outward, finding that nice, long, straight body. Finding that reach with the hand as the toes reach back, abs are engaged. Taking a deep breath here. If this is not something that you're able to do, feel free to just do a leg or just do an arm. Taking a few deep breaths here, feeling that core strengthen, the body to heat up a little bit as we're engaging some muscles today. We hold for one breath. 2, and 3. We release it on the exhale. With the next inhale, we stretch that left arm out long, finding that length. And if possible, we'll bring that right leg out. Abs engaged. Beautiful straight line from the tip of the fingers to the tips of the toes. Finding that pull with the hands and the pull back with the toes, with the feet. Always an option to just do the legs here or just do the arms. Like so. Finding what works for you today. Responding to how your body feels. And you can always take a break when needed, okay? Breathing deep. Concentrating on the sensations within the body, that sensation of the breath. Allowing the in-breath to bring some strength, some energy into the body. As the exhale brings some ease and comfort. We hold for 2 more breaths. The exhale, we drop. Knees to the floor, hands to the mat. We'll extend the hands, mats with distance, moving them upward. Exhale, we'll drop the the glutes down to down to our heels as we allow the chin to fall towards the mat. Feeling that stretch in the arms, the shoulders. You'll probably feel a little bit perhaps in the lower back, maybe in the quads, child's pose. Always an option to use a block here for the head if your head is not able to fall all the way down. Finding your breath in our resting child's pose. With an inhale, we elongate the fingers once again, finding some active, some energy, some activeness in the hands as we lift the body up and we come back to tabletop position. We go around through the left palm. Inhale, we raise the right hand up. Exhale, we thread that right needle through that left arm's opening, finding our little twist here, so allowing the shoulder to rest on the mat, the head to rest on the mat. You can always choose to stay right here in this position. Otherwise, you might choose to lift that right arm up if it feels good. Perhaps trying to grab that left thigh if possible. Inhale, we release that left arm, that right arm, or left arm, plant it. Inhale, that right arm comes up as we plant the right. So I'm going to turn back to this other side of the mat. I just wanted you to be able to see what I was doing there. So grounding through that right palm. Inhale, we lift the left arm up. Exhale, we thread that arm through that right arm's opening, resting the head to the mat. Inhale, lifting that left arm the right arm if it feels good for you today. Otherwise, just stay right here if it feels all right to you. We're getting a nice twist, a nice turning action in that thoracic vertebrae. Breathing deep. Being kind and gentle to ourselves today. We're not forcing anything. We're not cranking or moving our body in ways that is exceeding our limits. We're honoring where we are today. Inhale, we release that right arm, bringing it to the mat. Inhale, we lift the left arm up and over once again before we plant the palm. So, placing the hands back to the outsides of the mat again, mats with distance. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to lift the hips. We're coming into our first downward facing dog. So, downward dog is supposed to be a resting pose, but I'm completely aware that this might not be a rest for some people. This is something that you work towards. This is not an easy pose by any means, so do not be too hard on yourself. If your feet are up here, if your heels aren't to the mat, it's totally fine. If you need to bend your knees a little, totally fine. What we do want to make sure of is that we're not placing too much weight onto our wrists. So the areas that we would like to focus our pressure are the bottom bases of the hands, of the fingertips. So down at the bottom of the palms, like I was looking at my cat right there, of the palms, we're looking at the areas down at the bottom of the fingertips and the bottom of the palms. We're clawing through our fingertips, placing our weight on those areas, avoiding the wrist, as we have a suction cup-like energy in that webbing between the thumb and the finger and the pointer finger, okay? So that is how we are supposed to be grounding through the hands. As we lift through the mat, pushing through the mat, we allow the insides of our elbows to roll towards each other. Roll in. I'm just going to fix my shirt here. So as we roll those insides of the elbows towards each other, you're going to notice an activation on the sides of your arms. That is what we want. That's how you know you're doing the correct form on in the shoulders and the arm area. All right. The glutes are raised up to the sky, our abs tucked in tight, and if we can, the heels are touching the mat. If not, if the knees have to be bent a bit, that's totally fine. But we would rather have our knees bent than our arms bent and not in a good position, okay? Taking one more deep breath here. And with the next inhale, we're going to slowly walk towards the front of the mat. Forward fold. So in here, in forward fold, feel free to keep the knees bent. Abs still tucked in tight. We might find a little movement in our forward fold, find a little ragdoll. Just finding a good stretch in the back body. And with an inhale, we find our flat back position. So we straighten out the legs. We either allow the fingertips to graze the mat, we bring them to the shin, or we bring them to the thigh. Wherever they are, the elbows are staying into the body, and our abs are staying in tight. We find a nice long back that floats into the head. So the neck is that beautiful extension of the spine, and we see that in our forward fold, or our halfway lift, I'm so sorry. With an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise, we bring the hands all the way up overhead. Prayer pose above the head, gaze follows. Exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes. Notice how we're feeling. Notice any new sensations in the body. Notice if anything is different than when you began this practice. Taking just a few breaths here, connecting to the breath. Notice where the mind is. Allow the thoughts to slowly float away. And then with the next inhale, we bend the knees, we bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, we swine dive down. We plant the palms as we step out to our downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, we will roll our shoulders forward as we find plank. So plank is also a very challenging one. If this is not something that we're able to do, feel free to bring the knees to the mat. Wherever we are, the abs are tucked in tight. We push through the mat, so we're not sinking into the mat. We're pushing through. We're finding that integrity in our shoulders. If we're able to lift the knees off the mat, please do. Exhale, we'll find chaturanga as we slowly lower to the mat, all the way down to the stomach. With our legs zipped together, glutes relaxed, elbows close to the body, we'll inhale to a nice baby cobra. Taking a deep breath, add a little smile to the face. Exhale, head to the mat. Inhale, we reach a little bit higher with our baby cobra. We'll feel the effort in our triceps here as we just lift the head a bit higher. Our pelvis is rotating down towards the mat, keeping our vertebrae nice and long so we're not pinching. We don't want to feel a pinching sensation in that lower back, okay? With an exhale, we slowly lower to the mat. We curl the toes under. We spread the fingertips long, nice and active. And with a nice big inhale, we prepare the body. Exhale, shoot up, plank. So you might be on the knees or you might be up. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. From here, we're going to use the hands to take a nice little walk to the feet. Forward fold, down at the bottom of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, your version. Either here on the thighs, here on the shins, or here grazing the mat. Wherever you are, the chest is open. The belly is tight. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way up to prayer above the body. Exhale, hands at the heart. Notice the breath. Send out a little gratitude to the higher power. Gratitude to be able to take these breaths today, knowing that each breath is an absolute gift. Inhale, we bend the knees. We draw the hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, we swine dive down. We walk the hands out. We come into plank right away. Your version of plank. With an exhale, elbows close to the body, abs in tight, chaturanga to the mat. Inhale, hands by the outside of the chest, elbows close in, legs zip together. Inhale, cobra. Maybe taking a look at one heel and then the other. Being sure that our pelvis is rotating downward, making sure that there is space in the vertebrae. Our shoulders are back down away from the ears. The face is relaxed, the glutes are relaxed, and our legs are active. Curl the toes under, downward dog. Taking a few deep breaths here. You can always choose to come down to the knees into our child's pose. Taking even more of a little relaxing break. As we allow the breath to cleanse the body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Regardless of where you are, we are all going to come to the knees, come into child's pose. In this child's pose, perhaps you might want to touch the big toes together. Extend the knees match width distance, so opening up into a nice little triangle in the legs. Allowing to press the sit bones back to the heels as we come down into our child's pose, feeling that stretch on the insides of the thighs. Taking a few deep breaths here. Then inhale, we slowly rise up. We scoot the legs over, coming onto the sit bones. From here, we're just going to do a little bit of ab work here before we end the sequence. We're almost done here, so just hold with me. So bringing the back to the mat, knees bent. For here, we can definitely grab a hold of the outside of the mat if it feels good for you, if it helps. You can also place the hands on the small of the back, allowing the palms to face down, bringing into a nice little like triangle look with the hands underneath on the small of the back here. From here, we're going to lift both legs up off of the ground, okay? We're going to see a nice little L shape with the body. With an exhale, we'll drop the right leg down, keeping the left leg up. We're going to touch the toes to the mat. Inhale, we allow them to come back up. Exhale, dropping the left foot, allowing the toes to touch the mat. Bring it back up. You can always grab a hold to the side of the mat if it helps. Dropping the toe. If you are more advanced and you feel like you need more of an ab workout, allow the heel to touch, keeping that leg straight. So whatever feels good for you. You can keep the leg bent and just tap the toe lightly, or keep the leg straight and touch the heel. The heel is going to be a little bit harder. Exhale, we're dropping. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we drop. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Keeping it nice and slow and controlled. So we're not cranking the leg up. We're not cranking the leg down. We're having a nice consistent speed up and down, okay? If you'd like even more of a challenge, you can do both legs at one time, allowing the heels to touch for just a moment, maybe creating a little hover there before lifting them both up. All right, so that is another option, allowing both legs to come down, allowing them to hover for maybe a moment before we raise them back up. So we're going to do a few more of these, just a couple more. We'll do 3 more on each side. This is 2. And 3. Beautiful. Bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest, and we find a little rock back and forth, giving that lower back a little massage. From here, we're going to squeeze the legs in tight. We're going to squeeze the nose to the knee, allowing a full body experience, so squeezing the entire body as hard as we can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Taking a big deep breath in, and exhale, we release everything down. Feeling that sense of relief after we just finished those grueling ab exercises. With an inhale, we're just going to grab the right knee into the chest. Exhale, we allow that left hand to grab the outside of the right knee as it guides that knee over to the left. Our shoulders stay on the ground as we take a gaze over at our right fingertips that are now extended in a T to the side of us. You might feel your back crack a little bit in this nice little twist. Taking it nice and easy. Did a great job. Just a nice, easy flow today. Nothing too bad, hopefully. You did a fantastic job. If you stayed all the way through to the end, congratulate yourself. As we we'll bring that knee back to center, we hug it in, and we release it. We're going to bring that left knee in, give it a tug in as we allow that right hand to guide it over to the right, and we extend our left leg, our left arm over, and we look at our left fingertips. Yoga really is a journey. So if we aren't exactly where we want to be just yet, just know that that just gives you even more room for improvement. That is the most beautiful thing. And really send out some appreciation for yourself, because you are a living, breathing example of excellence. You really are. So appreciate what you did, because I appreciate you. And the people who love you appreciate you and what you're doing for you and your health. It is a beautiful thing. Allowing the exhales to soften you in the twist even more. Inhale, we'll draw that left knee back to center. Give it one more tug in before we release it down to the bottom of the mat to meet the right. We allow the hands to fall open, our palms facing up, as we gently close the eyes and we begin to prepare for Shavasana, corpse pose, our final resting pose of the sequence. The most important pose of the sequence, as we allow our practice to sink into our body. And we allow our muscles to relax. Our face softens, shoulders and arms soften, palms of the hands, our fingertips relax. The chest releases, the abs release, the top of the back, the middle of the back, and the bottom, lower back. Gently let go. Our glutes begin to release from one another. All of those muscle fibers begin to detach from each other. Our hips let go as our thighs, our knees, and our calves surrender to the pose. We feel that relaxation through our feet and our toes. The entire body lets go, relaxes completely, as we allow the breath to sink us deeper into our relaxation. Feel free to pause the video here to enjoy an even longer Shavasana. Otherwise, we're going to just roll over to our right side, allowing our body to adjust before we slowly rise all the way up, back into our nice seated position. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.